This is the first example that we'll be doing on sketching of quadratic curves. So how do you know this is quadratic? You look at the highest power of x, which in this case is actually x squared. In order to sketch a quadratic curve, you will need the following coordinates. First, you will need the turning point. Second, you need the y-intercept. Third, you need the x-intercept. So, in order to find the y-intercept, we let x equals to 0. You substitute inside the equation. When x equals to 0, you simplify, you will get the value of the y-intercept to be equals to 12. So, we have already found the y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, you let y to be 0. You'll realize that this is not as straightforward as the first one. You'll get 0 equals to x squared minus 8x plus 12. To solve this equation, you will just need to factorize it using multiplication frame. And on doing that, you will get bracket x minus 6 bracket x minus 2 bracket equals to 0. And on solving that, you will get the value of the x-intercept to be x equals to 6 and x equals to 2. These are the values of your x-intercept. So, now we have found the x-intercepts and the y-intercept. You are left with the turning point. There are actually two methods to find the turning point. One, you actually do completing the square on the equation given. So in order to do that, you will use x squared minus 8x plus 12 equals to, first check that the coefficient of x squared is 1. So when you realize it's 1, you can proceed to do completing the square where you put bracket x. The plus or the minus sign will follow the coefficient of the x term, which in this case is minus, and you put half the value of x inside, which is 8 over 2, and you close the bracket square, and minus 8 over 2 bracket square plus 12. Of course, if you need a further revision on completing the square, please refer to the other videos on that. And on simplifying, you will get x minus 4 bracket square minus 16 plus 12, you will get minus 4. So once you get the completed square form, you can actually read the turning point from there. So the turning point is actually equals to bracket 4 comma negative 4. The first value in the bracket 4 is actually derived from x minus 4 equals to 0, where you solve your x to be 4. And the second value, which is the y value of the turning point, you get from the value outside the bracket. So now that you have your y-intercept, x-intercept and turning point, you can start to draw the graph. Please take note that for the axis, you are supposed to use a ruler and draw. The reason why my axis is crooked is because I'm drawing on a tablet and there's no way I can actually use a ruler for that. After drawing your axis, a few things to take note is that you need to make sure it is still more or less accurate. 2, 4, 6, you will realize that the spacing intervals are more or less there, as well as the distance from the y-axis, the 12 and the negative 4. So after you plot your points, you will need to join them up with a smooth curve. And this is how the graph will look like after you join the points up, do remember to label the equation next to the curve as well.